On Roloff Farms, the afternoon was calm and sunny. Children's laughter reverberated in the distance as the undulating fields glistened in the late sunlight. With a cup of coffee in her hand, Tori Roloff stood on the porch. A covert smile grew across her face as her fingers settled softly on her stomach. She looked out at her husband, Zach, who had his typical concentrated expression on his face as he fixed something on the fence. Feeling the weight of the moment she had been clinging to for weeks, Tori inhaled deeply. She had a secret that was getting bigger every day, and it was time to tell the world about it. The family had gathered inside the house, with the comfortable living room humming with activity. As their parents were prepared to break the news to them, their 3 kids, Jackson, Lila, and Josiah, were occupied with their toys. Tori entered the room, hardly able to control her enthusiasm. "All right, everybody," she said in a light-hearted and fun tone. "We want to tell you about something really exciting. Hello everybody, hope you are well. Please do subscribe, give this video a thumbs up." The children's excited, inquisitive faces lit up as they paused what they were doing and looked up. Zach put his arm around her shoulder and joined her. Tori displayed a framed ultrasound picture, a black and white representation of the unborn child developing inside of her. "Another baby?" Jackson whispered, his eyes widening. Tori's heart grew as she laughed at her oldest enthusiasm. "You're right, friend. There will be another younger sibling for you." Cheers, chuckles, and inquiries erupted around the room. "Is it a girl or a boy?" Lila questioned, grinning broadly and tilting her head. Zach knelt down to their level and said, "We don't know yet. However, we are certain that you will be the most amazing big sibling ever." The children started coming up with names right away, each one more imaginative and frantic than the one before it. Zach and Tori looked at one another, their smiles brimming with laughter and affection. Tori had strung string lights around the porch, and later that night the family gathered outdoors under their gentle glow. They wanted to share this unique moment with their closest friends and relatives. The hum of discussion and the occasional clink of glasses filled the warm air. Zach's father, Matt Roloff, was standing close by, proudly seeing his expanding family. He addressed the camera, saying, "It seems like my heart expands along with this family every time it grows. One of my favorite things in life has been seeing Zach and Tori raise their children." While Tori and Zach sat together on the porch swing, the children played and laughed as they ran about the yard throughout the evening. With her palm on her growing baby bulge, Tori laid her head on Zach's shoulder. With a voice full of wonder and enthusiasm, Tori whispered, "I can't believe we're doing this again." Zach laughed as he answered, "Neither am I. But what do you know? It feels natural. This baby is a blessing, just like all the others." Tori's heart was full as she smiled. Farm life was full of surprises, chaos, and unpredictability, but it was theirs. The experience was going to get even more crazy because they were expecting their 4th child, and they wouldn't have it any other way. The Roloff family stood for a group shot in front of their house as the show came to a close. Zach and his 3 kids were all laughing and embracing each other as Tori stood in the middle, her baby bulge prominently visible. In a voiceover, Tori stated, "Life on Roloff Farms is always an adventure. It's going to get even more exciting with this new baby. However, sharing the chaos, the love, and the memories that give life meaning is what family is all about." As the titles rolled, the Roloff family's laughter continued to reverberate as the screen faded to blacked out and there's more. Zach Roloff, star of Little People, Big World, has come under fire for reportedly ignoring his mother, Amy Roloff, on Mother's Day. Little People, Big World Season 25 was the final season for Zach and Tori Roloff after they made the decision to leave the reality show. Zach made the decision to go to Washington with his wife and children following a falling out with his father, Matt Roloff, over the sale of the family farmhouse. This action simply served to widen the gap between father and son, and appeared to affect other family members as well. Social media users blasted Tori, via monsters and critics, for maybe being the reason Zach didn't spend Mother's Day with his mother Amy this year. Amy's recent Instagram post comments only served to stoke the flames. Amy included pictures of her kids, Jeremy and Jacob Roloff, as well as Jeremy's wife, Audrey Roloff, in her Mother's Day tribute. "Here I am with my bookends, Jeremy and Jacob, 2 amazing fine young men," she said in appreciation. "I spoke with Zach and Molly and spent time with Chris, my boys, and several of my grandchildren." Some fans have hinted that Zach's wife Tori is to blame for his absence. One commenter, At Kathy Price 5169, for instance, wrote, Zach has a grudge against the boys to sick, or he wasn't allowed to see ya. Zach is from a close-knit family, and in the early seasons of Little People, Big World, he seemed to have a good relationship with his parents. Zach and his father had occasional arguments about how to manage the farm, but they never got much more than that. With Zach and Tori residing near Matt and fiancée Karen Chandler, their relationship appeared to be flourishing, while his other siblings pursued other endeavors. But when Zach realized his father wasn't selling the family farmhouse, everything fell apart. The conflict between Matt and Zach would eventually result from this. The family has subsequently gone on with their lives despite Amy and Matt's divorce. Zach appeared to be persevering with his father and his own family, managing the farm together, although many of his siblings had already left Little People, Big World. There doesn't seem to be any tension in his connection with his mother, Amy. Zach and Amy appear to stay in touch despite the fact that Zach's family has relocated to Washington, which is hours away. The Roloff children have grown up and begun their own families, which Little People, Big World fans have witnessed. On the reality show, the family has experienced many highs and lows. Zach and Matt's feud doesn't appear to be ending anytime soon, despite the fact that their relationships have survived some of these setbacks. For the benefit of the whole family, it is hoped that the two can reach a consensus quickly. Zach Roloff, star of Little People, Big World, gave an update on his relationship with his father, Matt Roloff. Over the past few seasons, Matt and Zach's breakdown was depicted on the show as they were unable to work out their differences over the family property. It appears to be for the best that Zach and his wife, Tori Roloff, have declared that they will no longer be participating in the show. Zach talked about his relationship with his father in a recent edition of his and Tori's podcast. The Roloff family has been the subject of 25 seasons of Little People, Big World. The majority of the Roloff family works at their pumpkin farm in Oregon. As they grew older and had their own families, Zach's three brothers ceased to participate on the show, allowing Zach and Tori to take center stage. Zach and Matt might have been overwhelmed by the complicated relationships of working on the farm together and recording a reality show. Business issues caused their relationship to fall apart, and neither party was willing to take responsibility. As demonstrated in Little People, Big World, Zach and Matt used to be close. Zach gave personal tours of the family's pumpkin farm, where they worked together for a long period. But when Matt made the decision to sell the Roloff family farmhouse, a rift formed throughout the family. Following his divorce from Zach's mother, Amy Roloff, Matt had kept the land. Matt listed the big house for sale, divided the land, and lived in a little double-wide. The sentimental value of retaining the house in the Roloff family was recognized by all members. However, Matt was unwilling to change the price when Zach made an offer. Tori and Matt's fiancée Karen Chandler were reportedly involved in some heated conversations between the father and son. In the end, Zach and Tori abandoned the purchase, and their bond with Matt suffered. Matt ended up offering the house as a short-term rental, as he could never find a buyer at the price he wanted. Despite their departure from Little People, Big World, Zach and Tori continued to share details about their lives as parents of 3 young children. Raising Heights, their podcast, was launched early 2024, with Zach and Tori. Zach and Tori talk about parenting, their relationship, and family updates on their podcast. The pair seems to have a good relationship and are open and honest with one another. Raising Heights Season 2's second episode featured Tori asking Zach listener-submitted questions. They discussed their parenting philosophies, the state of their battleground, Washington, home, and the history of Zach and Tori's relationship. When Zach thought back on his relationship with his children, he admitted that acknowledging that parents are not flawless is a natural part of growing up. After describing his relationship with Matt as not great, Zach went on to say that it is non-existent. He clarified that the family separated for a while to give them time to reflect once Little People, Big World's filming was completed. However, almost a year later, the show caused resentment when it broadcast. He referred to his father's lack of responsibility and denial as narcissism. Tori went on to say that neither she nor Zach prevent their kids from seeing their grandfather. Zach wondered whether there was anything else he and his family could have done to make amends. It's encouraging to hear him admit that his father may not bear all the guilt. Tori denied this, stating that she believed Zach had given it his all. Zach needs to set limits with his family since he is too forgiving. Tori is frequently blamed for starting the family conflict, but because Zach can be too passive, She feels compelled to help him break off unhealthy connections that it doesn't seem like Zach and Tori intend to get back together with Matt anytime soon as their time on Little People. Big World Season 25 draws to a close. Maybe Zach and Matt will find the space they need to move on from the past if they aren't compelled to replay their arguments on television. For the time being, Zach is sticking to the boundaries he set, even if it means he and his father are no longer friends. Let us know in the comments. And stay tuned by subscribe to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you, bye guys.